Hello, everyone. I am back and still in a very storytelling mood, and I have another tale for you. I have pretty much recounted all of my extra spooky, like crazy experiences, but I still have some mini tales, if you will. They're not as intense. But this one I wanted to talk about because it's more on the spiritual side, and I'm not even sure if it's real. So, like, this is a story from when I was like 4, and this is why I'm saying I don't know if it's real, but it seems very real whenever I think about it, and it feels weird when I try to recall it. I'll get into that in a minute. So, here's the spiel. I do not say there is a great beyond. I do not say there is. I do not say ghosts are real, but I do believe in energies that I cannot comprehend. If you have seen my other video in these little mini series, you'll understand why I find it hard to deny at this stage. So, I grew up in England, a land steeped in much history, much creepy buildings, much creepiness. This, however, like I said, took place when I was 4. And fuck math. And I'm like, you know what? I just really don't want to do math today. Like, 4 plus 5? I don't know this. Like, what the fuck? Like, seriously. Hate math. Maybe this is like the root of it. Maybe this is where it all started. So, and we're just gonna, like, just brush over the kid thing and come back to that. So I'm older, right? And we're driving down this road, leaving town, probably to go home, or we could have been going to town. I think we were going home. And my mom just like, it's a country road, 2-lane, narrow, heading to our little village home. And she's like, I always remember this road because this is the road that we were on. And you were in the ambulance, and like your dad overtook the ambulance. So like she said this, and it almost like started unlocking these memories. Like, again, I'm in school, so I started school when I was 4 because I am an August baby. So it's like 4 or 5, I think. Then you're supposed to start at 5. So I was like 4, turning 5. But by this point, I was probably 5. I don't know. Anyway, I remember after she said this, I got thinking about it. And I remember standing at the table doing my math, and I had a sweater on. And of course, I'm 5, and I'm stupid. And I'm overheating and probably crazy dehydrated, but I'm 5. Teacher's not paying attention. I just remember being really hot, and then nothing. Like, that is my memory. So here's where it gets crazy. Like, I can kind of imagine everybody's just flipping out. Like, I can kind of just imagine that, you just can. I remember my teachers from back then. I'm sure everybody's flipping out. But I'm unconscious, right? And after my mom said that, like, I remembered that. Like, I remembered it. Like, we're talking about it when I'm like 10 or something. I'm like, wait, I actually kind of remember that I, like, was really hot. And I think I did pass out in school. And after that, like, this is what makes it weird. So when she said about the ambulance on this road, it's like I'd always had this vision in my mind of, like, top down looking at an ambulance on this road and a car passing it. But if I try to focus too much on this memory, it makes me feel nauseous, and I don't want to. Like, it's kind of like hazy. Like, I can kind of see the ambulance, but I can't picture the car that's passing, and I can't even say that it's true, but I feel like I try to look deeper. Like, it makes me feel like, not necessarily, like, I don't know, like, this is a door, this is a vision that I should not look at. Like, I should not look beyond this. Like, so you hear those stories of people, like, when they're dying, they, like, leave their body. Honestly, I don't know how bad it was, but for my dad to be like passing the ambulance, like it must have been pretty bad. Like I must have been like on the brink or something. But anyway, so yeah, I have this image of that. And that was like always in my mind before, but then when she said it, it was like, oh my god. Obviously, I have no memory of what happened after I was 5, okay? But just having I try not to picture it for too long because of the way it makes me feel. I think it's more the fact that I could be making this up, like just picturing it as my mom's telling the story. But I think it's more the feeling it gives me when I'm imagining it. Like, an invisible force is telling me not to dwell on this. Like, just don't even. And I think that's what makes me more uncomfortable than anything. So this was the start of my hate relationship with math. You know, I was kind of like, just like a crazy, like, you know how when you're a kid and the kids are like, oh, I don't feel well, I don't want to do my math test. Nah, I went all out. I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm not taking this math. I'm not doing this math. I'm taking a math. Power move. But yeah, the videos will probably be a bit shorter if I can think of them now, because like I said, I've generally told you guys pretty much everything, and these are just fun little videos for my community, for people to enjoy about my experiences, pretty much with weird shit in England. There's a lot of buildings that I've been into where I've had uneasy feelings. I told you about the bed and breakfast I was in. There was another instance of a creepy room I had, but it wasn't like, it was just like, oh god, this room is creepy. There's probably something in here, but nothing particularly crazy happened. I had trouble sleeping, and then I just got up the next day, and that was that. But yeah, other than that, I've kind of exhausted everything. Like I said, I'm not like crazy. I don't go seeking this stuff out. It just happens if I stay somewhere on my day to day. But this story isn't necessarily scary. It's just like an eye-opening experience. Because like I said, you hear the stories of people saying that like when they're in the hospital, they have out-of-body experiences. So it's like, am I just picturing this, or did this happen? Because like, again, I'm 5. I can't say for sure, but it's still creepy that I have this vision and that it happened whilst my mom bought that up. But like I said, I'm glad you guys have been enjoying this little mini series I've been doing. I do like doing little vlog videos like this. I don't necessarily always have... I can't just feed you ghost stories constantly, but maybe I can think of something else. Something else. But it is fun to dive into the spooky scary and finally share some of these weird just experiences I've had in my life. I grew up in a village, like I keep saying. Maybe I'll give you guys a little verbal tour of the village. I've had a comment on one of my videos already, saying, why are you telling us in the most boring way? Why didn't you go animate it? Okay, let me just spend the next 6 months of my life animating a video, or we could just be like having a fun little talk around the campfire, you know? What is wrong with just like, why does everything have to be so intense? Why can't we just like vibe in videos anymore? Like, why can't it just be like, well, you know, back in early YouTube when people just set up a camera and talk? It's like, not everything has to be flashy. It can be just as entertaining. Just listen to me tell my tales. But like I said, pretty much every intense experience I've had has already been shared. So I hope you guys have enjoyed them. If I think of some others, I'll make another video talking about spooky stuff. But like I said, it was always going to be a mini-series for my community, because I always tell them these stories and they're always fascinated when I tell them. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just share it with some other people, and this is another thing that I thought of that I wanted to share. So, my life is weird. Many weird things happen to me, but I have the most normal, sheltered upbringing ever, yet I have the most weird experiences of being put in the most haunted rooms ever. Like looking back at it, at my cousin's house, the bed and breakfast twice, even though the other one wasn't as bad. It's usually in bed and breakfast because like there's a lot of things that happen in those. Like they're usually older houses with, again, history, and they've been converted, and so many people have passed through them throughout the years. Of course, there's weird stuff going on, but nothing as intense as Grandma. Grandma, I don't even know if it was an old lady, but that's what it felt like. And I've been thinking more about the painting. I think it had a horse in it, like it was one of those, like a battle style painting. Um, it's so vivid. I don't want to say in case I get it wrong, but that is the vivid memory I have. Like it wasn't a portrait; it was a scene of something, and I think a horse, but probably not. Anyway, again, thank you all for listening to my videos, and I'm glad you've been enjoying them. I've been enjoying telling my stories, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye!